Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that takes your source material and really transforms it into a journey of discovery.
That's the goal.
Today, we're doing something a bit different. Our deep dive isn't into the usual research or news reports.
No, today it's literature. Donna Tartt's The Goldfinch, specifically the opening chapters.
Exactly. And our mission here is to really unpack all those layers, memory, trauma, identity, through the eyes of Theo Decker, our protagonist.
We'll be looking at his early memories, the huge event that just shatters his world, really.
And those relationships that start cropping up, the ones that begin to shape where he goes next.
So get ready to go beyond just, reading the story. We want you to engage with it, pull out those insights that make it so compelling.
Okay, so where do we begin? We open with Theo, and he's in Amsterdam.
Yeah, he's in a hotel room, feverish, really alone. He's paranoid, hearing sounds, doesn't even understand the Dutch news. It's a picture of total disorientation.
Yeah, definitely. And that state is sharply contrasted with these incredibly vivid dreams he starts having. Dreams of his mother.
It's striking, isn't it? His subconscious is already right there grappling with this massive loss. And it's not just any dream. He calls it a visitation.
A visitation.
He sees her reflection in a mirror in this sort of haunted dream space that feels like Hobie shop later on.
And the details are so specific.
Oh, incredibly. Her freckles, her smile, that funny upward quirk of her mouth. He feels her, like not as a memory, but as a real presence that filled the whole room.
A living otherness.
Yeah. And the fact he can't turn and look at her directly, only in the mirror.
Yeah.
Just as she seems about to speak, she vanishes.
Wow. That really says something about memory, about trauma, doesn't it? How it makes presence so elusive. She's like a reflection he can't quite grasp.
Precisely. It sets her up as this haunting figure, not a comfort.
And through these moments, we start piecing together who his mother was. Beautiful, apparently worked as a model for a bit, but didn't like the camera.
Right. Too uneasy. And her look was really unique. Black hair, fair skin, freckles in summer, these china blue eyes.
Tartt calls it an eccentric mixture of the tribal and the Celtic twilight. People thought she was Icelandic.
Yeah, but she was actually half Irish, half Cherokee from Kansas. Like to call herself an Okie, apparently.
Gives you a sense of her personality, that merry, unpredictable quality, the thrilling quickness.
But then the photos showed something different. A watchful, tigerish air.
Which contrasts with how she was in real life, warm, chatty with everyone, waitresses, doormen.
Something his standoffish dad apparently hated.
Like that conversation with Goldie the doorman about the cold winter. Just a slice of normal life.
And that's the key, isn't it? All those details, they emphasize the daily, commonplace happiness that was lost when I lost her. It just perfectly sets the emotional stage.
You feel the weight of what's coming.
Well, exactly, before it even happens.
Okay, so let's shift to that fateful morning, the museum visit. The tension is already sky high.
Oh, yeah. Theo's a wreck. Chewing his thumbnail, sick with worry about this conference at school. 11.30.
And the stakes are huge. Potential expulsion, losing his scholarship, which they desperately had because his dad left them broke.
His biggest fear, that the school found out about him and Tom Cable.
Breaking into houses in the Hamptons.
Right. And you hear Tom's voice in his head. Don't be stupid, Theo. Nobody knows a thing.
Yeah.
Just keep your fucking mouth shut. That kind of teenage bravado, but underneath, real fear.
And adding to that anxiety, his mother's appearance that morning. She looks mascara smeared, wilted looking.
Even the cab driver asks if she's okay. It's unsettling.
Plus the weather. Darkening fast, wind picking up, rain about to start. It's all feeling very ominous.
Almost like foreshadowing, yeah. And they can't even get a cab. Some businessman snatches the last one. That frantic energy.
Which leads them right to the museum steps, hurried, out of breath.
His mom's red-nosed, fumbling for her wallet.
Yeah.
And she's talking about buying an art book for her colleague, Mathilde.
Theo suggests a Metro card. Practical kid.
And we get that little detail about her boss, Sergio. The multimillionaire, friends with Donatella Versace, his taste in art books leaning towards Helmut Newton or Madonna.
Right, not exactly old masters.
And it's right then, in that slightly chaotic moment of arrival, that they see it. The painting.
The painting, the goldfinch, small yellow finch.
Chained to a perch by its twig of an ankle. And his mother, she knows it instantly. Carol Fabricius.
Rembrandt's pupil, Vermeer's teacher.
She calls it the missing link. Says it's where Vermeer got his quality of light. She's passionate about it, calls it the most extraordinary picture in the whole show.
Saying Fabricius discovered something new.
Yeah. And through her eyes, You, the listener, you're really invited to see the significance of this little painting, this moment of pure appreciation.
Right before everything just explodes.
Exactly. Chaos.
Theo feels this violent jolt, wakes up totally disoriented, aching, head-pounding, choking on dust.
Sees a water bottle, then movement. White on white. It's an old man.
Grabs his hand, coughing, asking where.
Theo helps him drink and notices something familiar in the old man's eyes. Connects him to that girl, Pippa, he saw earlier.
What? The redhead.
And the old man keeps asking for Pippa, mumbling strange things. She should take the train. The villa in Maadi, on a two-Peru. Lost everything, coughing up blood. It's harrowing.
And amidst all that, with no fire immediately visible, Theo does something instinctive.
He crawls over to the painting.
And puts it in a shopping bag. Why? Just to get it out of his sight. It was upsetting him so.
It seems so minor at the time, doesn't it? But it's the act. The decision made in pure instinct, in shock, that defines everything that comes after.
Absolutely central. A small act with enormous consequences.
It really is.
So he gets out of the museum, still disoriented, smoke everywhere, navigating these grand empty halls, almost runs into the Franz Hals paintings.
And outside, it's just sheer pandemonium.
Rain, that screaming silence, broken by sirens way off, no emergency crews inside yet.
Just parked cars, official-looking people in raincoats, a Hatzola ambulance, that woman with the red fingernails clawing the air.
The streets are a madhouse. Helicopters, bullhorns, he sees people just surging blindly.
And that image. Black smoke in the rainy skies over Fifth Avenue as if the Martians were coming down.
Apocalyptic. A really visceral depiction of that kind of public trauma.
Absolutely.
So after that immediate chaos, Theo tries to reach his mother.
Leaves her a message, calls the doorman, getting increasingly agitated.
But Carlos and Jose aren't there. Instead, it's this frightened-looking Asian guy in safety gear who doesn't speak English or Spanish, confused.
He finds out the city's locked down, bridges closed. That explains the doorman's absence. But still no word about his mom.
Gets a missing person number, makes a deal with himself. Call in half an hour. That dread just building.
And in that awful waiting period, he tries to do something normal, right? Tries to open a stuck drawer.
Ends up bending his mother's silver butter knife.
Which leads to that amazing metaphor. Try not to think about it is like trying not to think of a purple cow.
The purple cow is all you can think of.
It nails that inescapable nature of grief, of obsessive worry. And he leaves the drawer open, like a hopeful sign. Poignant, but so futile.
Then the phone rings. It's not good news. It's the city. NY DOE CFS.
Marjorie Beth Weinberg, speaking with this hushed and almost creepy gentleness.
Asking all these questions about his father, which just feel completely beside the point to Theo right then.
And he gives them the number for Andy Barber, an old friend he'd kind of drifted away from.
Which sets up the next stage. Life with the Barbers.
Yeah, moving into their world, these white glove buildings on Park Avenue, a totally different reality.
With the midnight doorman, Kenneth, who has a drinking problem. Mr. Barber, looking like a lesser founding father. Mrs. Barber in her floor-sweeping housecoat.
It's this picture of sort of stifling upper-class comfort, but it's also a bit like a prison, isn't it? All unspoken rules, suppressed emotions.
A stark contrast to the chaos he just escaped. And we learn about Andy, the friend. Wispy, irritating voice.
Bullied as a kid. Nearly suffocated with a plastic bag, apparently. His parents worry he inherited vulnerability from Mr. Barber's time in a psychiatric facility, a ding farm.
Jesus. And meanwhile, Theo's just stuck, reliving the museum explosion over and over.
Trapped in his head. And school doesn't help.
No, kids avoid him. Adults give him way too much attention, but the wrong kind.
Crackpot advice. Keep a journal. Make a memory collage.
Ugh. And his teachers, they all seem to know about the tragedy. He feels like they only let her into the program because of it.
Like it ruined some deserving brainiac's chance.
Yeah. And while he's dealing with all that, the other shoe drops. A social worker tells him what he'd been dreading.
His grandparents. They don't want him. Health issues, they say.
So he's truly alone, no family anchor left.
Which just intensifies that longing for his mother. It's described as physical, a hard physical longing, like a craving for air underwater.
Brutal. He tries to remember happy times, but...
He gets stuck on tiny details, his mother picking a thread off his jacket. Mundane things.
He even hears her voice in his head.
Yeah, saying everyday stuff like, throw me an apple, would you? It shows how grief isn't just sadness, it's the agonizing lack of the ordinary.
Then things shift again really fast.
Yeah.
His father shows up with Xandra.
Right, and his dad is just, boom, Let's get the show on the road. Starts dismantling the apartment, selling off his mother's things.
At sickening speed, Theo thinks of a cartoon character erasing his own world.
It's another layer of loss, just wiping away his past. And Xandra, she's quite a character.
Definitely unsettling. Whiskey voice, muscular arms, that tattoo on her toe, starfish earrings.
Talks about learning Wicca in high school, wanting to study English history but never did. And her approach to Popper, the dog.
Leaving him alone with a water fountain and a feeder, it speaks volumes.
It really highlights the carelessness, the superficiality of this new life he's being dragged into. No stability there.
And all this time, the painting is still his secret, hidden in a pillowcase under the bed.
He knows its value. Any fool would. And then he finds those pills on the counter.
Hundreds of them. Vicodin. Xandra says they're vitamins.
Right. And later, the bigger betrayal. Finding his mother's missing diamond and emerald earrings. Hidden in Xandra's room in a fake Coke can.
Just awful. Adds that layer of theft and deceit to everything else.
But then, someone new enters the picture. Someone pivotal.
Boris.
Boris. Dark-haired boy, scrawny white arms, black leather bracelets. Seems like a totally different tribe at first.
But becomes one of the great friends of Theo's life.
Yeah. Taller than Theo, wears jungle boots, old fatigues, hates the sun. He's got this whole backstory.
Named after a Tolstoy character, Prince Boris, Polish mother, speaks Russian, Ukrainian, but English is easiest now.
Dead drinks, mainly. They've lived everywhere. New Guinea, Canada, places with no internet.
This really nomadic, almost feral upbringing.
Which has made him who he is. Cynical, street smart. But he offers Theo this incredibly intense friendship, born out of their shared isolation, really.
And their friendship blooms in this really grim setting. Boris's house sounds awful.
Much like Theo's dad's place, but too hot. Dry pool filled with sand. Grit everywhere.
But they connect, talk for hours, try to watch that movie, SOS Iceberg. That never quite happens.
Theo learns about Boris's weird schooling self-taught with tapes. Boris nicknames the dog Popper, Snaps.
Snaps becomes their companion. It shows how connection can happen anywhere, right? Even in the worst places.
Absolutely. And Boris immediately starts offering Theo a different kind of education. Street smarts.
Tells him stealing from gangsters gets you hurt, maybe shot. Different from just getting beaten up in Ukraine.
It makes you think, doesn't it? How your background shapes what you see as dangerous, what's just normal.
That contrast is stark, and then we see why Boris is like that. That horrific scene with his father.
Oh, it's chilling. This thin, pale man, described like a rabid fox, evil red-rimmed gaze, tiny brownish saw teeth.
Attacks Boris violently with a cane, kicking, slapping.
Theo sees the bruise later, the color of raw meat. And Boris is just so matter-of-fact about it. Tells Theo to lie, say he did it, blame it on skateboarding.
To avoid being taken away. Because Poland, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It shows the reality Boris lives with daily.
And then you get this sharp contrast on Christmas Eve. Theo's dad.
Flush with gambling winnings, face all bright and red.
Talking about Mercury in retrograde, the moon, a visible halo at the gambling table, all this talk of luck and patterns.
Which Theo later sees as just this dark emptiness, something destructive that pretends to be light.
It's a powerful juxtaposition.
Fleeting lust.
Versus that deep, corrosive reality.
And just when things seem like they can't get more tangled, Boris drops the bombshell.
About the painting.
He confesses, I am thief. Admits he stole it from Theo.
Says he wanted it, couldn't sell it. Claims he would have told Theo if asked. Says he was trying to get it back during some Miami stuff, some criminal deal.
Warns Theo never deal with strangers on the big stuff. Classic Boris.
But for Theo, it's devastating. He feels scorched with despair, self-hatred, shame. The painting is still out there, still haunting him.
And this is when his drug use really escalates, right? To cope. Crushing roxicodone, taking morphine.
Yeah, trying to numb those withdrawals, the emotional pain. It's the burden of the painting made manifest in addiction.
Which all leads to him leaving Vegas. Tries to take Popper.
But Boris shuts that down. Pragmatic as ever. Planes don't take dogs like that.
Theo thinks about a train. Boris offers him drugs, tells him to just take a plane, says he'll call.
And Theo, just wrecked by drugs and exhaustion, tries to tell Boris how great New York is, offers him scholarship money for school, for anybody's education.
It's so poignant. And in that moment, Theo realizes he loves Boris.
But he doesn't say it. Later regrets it deeply, just watches him go.
And the trip to Amsterdam. Full of paranoia, that cab driver offering him stolen phone cards.
Arrives in Amsterdam, can't get a passport without a police report, which is dangerous. He feels the cold, smells the city, knows New York isn't home anymore.
And reflecting there, surrounded by art, copies, his own stolen masterpiece, raises that question, doesn't it? Is chasing beauty, especially illicit beauty, just a trap?
A fast track to bitterness and sorrow. Or can it connect to something more meaningful? That's the core tension.
So he ends up back in New York, and Hobie takes him in.
Hobie, such a crucial figure. Gentle, perceptive, a real anchor for Theo.
Gives him routine, lets him help in the workshop, learn about furniture restoration, the hospital for furniture.
Hobie sees right through Theo's attempts to seem fine. Understands him better than any therapist, Theo feels.
It's such a contrast to his biological family or even the Barbers. Hobie offers this consistent warmth, this unconditional care.
Exactly. Theo even finds himself wishing his mother had married someone like Hobie. Attentive, kind, someone who would have appreciated her.
It makes you wonder about family, doesn't it? What really sustains us? Maybe it's not always the traditional setup.
Often it isn't. But that unconditional care gets tested.
Yeah, Hobie eventually confronts him. Not directly about the painting, though.
No, about that $30,000 necklace Theo gave Pippa. Left in her shoe at the engagement party.
Theo has to admit his flim-flam, selling fake antiques to cover debts.
Hobie's hurt, disbelieving at first, but then reveals that Lucius Reeve, the angry client who got a fake, reported Theo had bolted, run off.
And Hobie opens up, too, about his own past, finding solace in antiques after his mother died, his own run-ins with art cons.
Like Lucian Race, Havistock Sloane, cheating old ladies. He even sizes up Boris pretty accurately. Charming boy, but he looks like he's seen the inside of a jail cell or two.
It's this moment of shared vulnerability, of flawed humanity.
And Hobie's philosophy on art comes out here, and it's just fascinating for this whole story.
The line of beauty is the line of beauty. It doesn't matter if it's been through the Xerox machine 100 times.
He brings up Proust, loving a Botticelli from a reproduction, proving that art's power, its essence, can survive copying.
Maybe even that the damage is part of the attraction.
Which feels incredibly relevant to Theo and the Goldfinch, right? This damaged masterpiece, this damaged boy, it adds this layer of possible redemption, or at least acceptance.
Okay, let's look at the shifting dynamics later on.
Yeah.
Back to the Barbers.
Things have changed there, too. Mrs. Barber confesses she loves Theo, tells him he saved her life by showing up when he did, says his family.
Even pushes him to marry Kitsy, saying it makes sense for everyone. Practical, maybe, but wow.
And Platt reveals Kitsy's on antidepressants, that Andy was actually closest to her. You see Platt himself declining, while his younger brother Toddy is successful. Just the messy reality of family life unfolding.
And Andy's death looms large.
Described as almost inevitable, predictable, like a fatal inborn defect. But the world just limped on.
Theo reflects on his own stupor of misery, realizing he missed so many small kindnesses while wrapped up in his own grief.
It's a painful realization how self-absorption can blind you.
Then Boris reappears. Clean up, new teeth, new snaps.
Offers Theo a job. Theo tunes him down, says he likes what he does with Hobie.
And Boris gives him that stark relationship advice.
Yeah. Those you love too much are the ones who will kill you. Recommends finding someone who lets you have your own life.
Coming from Boris, who Theo does love, even if unspoken. That's intense.
Very. And it leads us back to Amsterdam again. Theo's lowest point. Thinking about his mother's death, suicide.
And Boris shows up again. Like a guardian angel, almost.
A very unconventional one. Reveals there's a huge reward out for the painting now. Over $1 million.
Shares that Horst, the dealer, confessed Sasha, the guy who first stole it from Boris, wanted help getting it back. It's getting complicated.
And Boris offers this philosophical take. Maybe the one had to be lost for the others to be found, meaning other stolen artworks recovered because of the Goldfinch hunt.
He worries the Indonesian guy holding it now will just destroy it to avoid trouble. Hopes the Titsa, the little bird, isn't thrown in a canal or burned.
This whole conversation shifts everything for Theo. He realizes Boris thinks he was the mastermind all along.
The brains of the operation. It's darkly ironic.
And the final twist. Boris did take the painting originally, way back in Vegas, but he kept it safe. He didn't sell it or lose it then. He had it all along, in a way protecting it for Theo.
Wow. That reframes their entire relationship, Boris's loyalty, in such a complex way.
It really does. And those last moments between them.
So much unsaid. Theo wants to reach out, grasp his arm, beg him to stay, realizes he loves him.
But he just waves goodbye. And that unspoken "I love you" hangs there. A bittersweet, haunting end to that chapter of their connection.
It really leaves you thinking.
Absolutely. What's truly profound here is how this whole narrative invites you, the listener, to really consider all those unseen forces shaping a life,
Yeah, from his mother's presence in a dream.
to the actual physical burden of this hidden painting. Theo's journey is just a powerful testament to how these extraordinary events warp your whole perception of reality, how we carry the past, literally and figuratively.
Okay, so let's try and unpack this for you, the listener. We've journeyed through Theo's world, the beauty and chaos of New York,
Yeah.
the starkness of Vegas, the paranoia of Amsterdam.
And what this deep dive really shows is how a single object, this small painting, it becomes this container for everything. Grief, guilt, hope, even this incredibly unlikely powerful bond between Theo and Boris.
It makes you circle back to Boris's thought. Maybe some things had to be lost for the others to be found. A provocative idea.
So the question for you is, when things fall apart, when you face chaos, what path do you take? The obvious one. Or do you find yourself drawn down a darker way, wrestling with those hidden burdens?
And what value do you put on something, an object, that holds so much memory, even if holding on to it just creates more problems?
Something to think about as you go on your own journey, maybe recognizing that sometimes the deepest truths aren't in what's said out loud.
But in everything that remains unspoken,